All right. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Let me just turn that volume down. There we go. I've got my different devices connected here. Apologies for that. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm super excited to have you all online, that we can run through our camp program with you. Most amazing summer awaits. It's super fun, lots of action, lots of really cool activities that you can do, the opportunity for cultural exchange, meeting people from around the world, and most importantly, that travel opportunity after camp where you get those 30 days to go and spend your money traveling around the US and doing a bit of backpacking. So without further ado, let's get started. We're probably going to have some people joining along the way, but for those of you who are here, please drop me a private message with your name, your surname, and make sure we know that you are here with us tonight having a chat, because we would love to obviously connect tomorrow and make sure that you've got all the relevant information and get you sorted with the next steps after tonight. So let's chat all things camp. Sorry, I'm going to just hope my browser's working with me. There we go. Fantastic. So who is OVC? We are the largest, the oldest, and biggest youth organization over the past 75 years. And we've been sending campers, people to the UK. We've been sending au pairs, people to Europe, all over the world, doing our gap year programs. But this program is the camp that we're going to focus on tonight. So if camp is not for you, check out our offices, check out our website, check out our socials. Go and find something that's up your alley, but I guarantee you after tonight, you're definitely going to have some kind of interest in the camp program. And we're going to cover all those highlighted questions regarding requirements, costs, inclusions, what camp is all about, what you're going to be doing, and hopefully give you a better idea of the whole concept tonight. So OVC, us broadcasting here from Joburg tonight, but situated throughout South Africa, as well as in Namibia. And gap years are a thing. Many years ago, I did a gap year. I'm now sitting in front of you selling gap years, selling these opportunities. I've had the pleasure of going to camp. I run the camp program for OVC in South Africa, and I really have a passion for camp. I believe it's an amazing summer. There's so much you can learn for yourself, brand your resume, get life experience, work experience, make lots of friends, travel America. So I'm here to make sure that you have fun come next year, May, June. Where do we place? We place all over the place. Camps are throughout the US. So you could be north, south, east, west. But for the most part, you need to know that you are not going to be in a city. You are definitely going to be in a very remote area. It's all about being out near lakes, whether it be a water sort of establishment, a lake, a dam of sort, sometimes maybe just pools and private camp areas where more in the forest and you've got your pools and all that sort of thing. But most camps have a beautiful lakefront where you spend a lot of your summer because it's really hot and it's obviously water activities, whether it be kayaking, fishing, lifeguarding, anything to do with water is going to keep you very busy. And then obviously if you don't have the beauty of the lake, you've got your pools and stuff, but you are remote. You are going to have the bugs and the camp life and everything to do with outdoorsy and camp life. So be prepared for one hot summer, one busy summer. It's a lot of fun, but placements are very much northeastern corner. Down south, you can even have your California and your Wisconsin, up north, inland, all over the show. So you could be anywhere in America. And after, excuse me, you get your 30 days to travel. So while you're living and working at camp, you will spend time at the camp, living, working, doing everything in that one base. So living there for the 9 to 11 weeks. The 30 days, you can go anywhere. You can go visit buddies. You can make friends with local Americans at the summer camp. And then you can move to other parts of the US with them to go and visit their homes, their families, if you make local friends. If you make other foreign and national friends, you would travel around in those areas where your bucket list items are. So places you really want to see, you want to go to, and basically you go out and you enjoy what you want to see in America, whether it be for 1 day, 2 days, or the full 30 days. You have that window afterwards. Thereafter, you pack up your things and you head back to your home country, Namibia, SA. But it is generally, I'd say, probably around about a 3 to 4 month program, starting in around May, June, and running then through to about July, August. Then we scooch over to our next part of it in terms of what does it take to be a camp counselor. I always say there's a camp for everybody. So you don't have to worry about like what you're bringing to the table. Just bring your energy, bring your personality, your love for kids, your love for the outdoors, and you'll have the best summer ever. In terms of requirements, we take applicants 18 through 26, South African, Namibian passports. We are open to a couple of other nationals. You must be in good health. Obviously, camp is all about on the go, being out there and about, and being healthy and fit, any prior health conditions that you have had, let us know. You will do medicals just for screening. You will do police clearance screening. But it's really about your attitude and your skill set when interviewing with your camp director. Camp directors want to know, are you part of a team? Are you, there to be having the best summer with the kids, with your fellow camp counselors? What are you there for? What are you, wanting to achieve out of your experience? And what can you bring to the table? Do you kayak? Do you swim? Are you more artsy, crafty? What is it, that your skill set might be at camp? Then, we talk about day in the life of camp. Now, this is varying. Obviously, you've got your different types of camp, which we'll touch on as well. But you've got for the most part, like 2 major different roles at camp. You've got your general camp counselors, and then you've got your skills-based counselors. So in the day of the life of the camp, it will be sort of like eat, sleep, repeat. You wake up in the morning, you get the kids out of their bunks. The general camp counselors share the bunks with the kids. So you live in the little bunks. You can see the little bunk houses behind you in the pics. These are like your little cabins that you live in. Sometimes you're in tents. It really just depends on the accommodation style of the camp. But basically, at your camp, you're responsible for getting the kids up in the morning. Once they are up and ready for the day, you then get them to the breakfast. It's a nice buffet breakfast, sort of like in the movies where you see the American school kids go with their trays and they scoop on what they want. So that's what the breakfasts are like. So I've got a variety of that. Once everybody's fed, once they've made their beds, cleaned up their cabins, it's sort of like army style, I guess, where you got to do your duties, brush your teeth, get dressed, clean up your bunks, get ready for the day. So all that excitement happens. You're all fed and off you go to your first round of activities. Now, activities at camp can be very structured or they can be quite loose. So some camps have a very structured summer camp program where the kids actually sign up for particular activities throughout the summer, whereas other camps are kind of like, okay, guys, who wants to kayak, who wants to fish, who wants to go ride horses. So it's kind of like a whatever the kids feel like doing or whatever the counselors have organized to do for the day. So your morning is filled with activities. You then have a nice hearty lunch again, followed by some more afternoon activities and yet another mealtime of dinner. And then the last of that day and enjoying, whether it be sitting around the campfire, singing songs, having fun, telling stories, whatever it might be, until it's bedtime. Obviously, there's going to be curfews. You do have loads and loads of campers around. They are young. They range from 5, 6, 7 years of age, so your grade 1s, all the way up to the late teens. So there's got to be curfews, there's got to be rules and regulations to make sure that everybody is safe, and you know, you're aware of where everybody is at the moment. So you get up, you do your thing, you go to bed, and you do it all over the next day. So it is just this constant cycle of fun, action-packed days. There are loads of kids. You can have up to 300, 400, 500 campers that are at the camp. So those are the kids. On top of that, you've got your camp counselors. And it really is a massive thing. You've got your international staff, your local staff. So it's a wonderful mix of people coming together in this little environment for the summer, having fun, wanting to make sure that the summer is a memorable one. So we mentioned camp types. So when you do your application, you will specify your preferences. So things like special needs, faith-based camps, underprivileged camps, your single gender camps. Those are all things which you can put on your application as your, I would like to be here and I'd like to be there. Traditional overnight camps are very standard, and the day camps. So those are the very standard categories. So traditional overnight and day camps are generally camps that every single camp counselor, i.e. you applying for the program, your application will go out to all of those camp categories. Whereas the ones that you see under the overnight, so special needs down to underprivileged, are camp categories or types that you can choose. So if you have experience with special needs, you can work at a special needs camp. Maybe you have an autistic cousin or a cousin that's in a wheelchair or has mental health or physical health disabilities and things. Those are the types of camps which cater for your special needs. So if you have that experience and you want that experience, that is available. Your faith-based, you'll have your Jewish and your Christian camps, single gender being boys and girls. Girl Scouts take it that next level where it is the more like the scouts that the boys do, where it's like a lot of different lessons and learning things, and it's a little bit more rustic, the Girl Scouts. And then obviously you're underprivileged, which caters for a certain market of children that are coming to camp. So those are choices. Day camps are day camps. The kids arrive in the morning and the kids go home at night. You don't have children that sleep over at a day camp because camp only functions from the morning to the late afternoon, early evening. Your traditional sleepover camps are the ones that are most common, where kids arrive and they also spend a couple of weeks at camp, whether it be 2 weeks at camp, 5 weeks at camp. You would generally have a set of kids that come. They spend most of the summer there, or you have two groups of kids that come through the summer. One comes and then they sort of overlap. But the overnight camps vary for the kids part of it, where they get to come for 2 weeks to 7 weeks of it, whereas you will obviously be there for the whole experience. Day camps, they arrive and then they go home at night. The day camps, you won't work in the evenings because there's no kids around to look after. In other words, on the overnights, you'll be making sure they get their dinners, get to bed, and that sort of thing. And then also the overnight camps, you can work multiple days in the week and the month. You get a couple of days off here and there, whereas your day camps, you get off every evening and every weekend because there obviously aren't kids in that time. So those are your camp types. Now, the camp activities are forever on. There is just always something new at camp. So it can be anything from a land sport, a water sport. It can be your extreme stuff like your mountain biking, not mountain biking, well, that too, but quad biking and your motorsports. It can be zip lining, your low and high ropes. You can be doing gymnastics. And then there's also the exercise things like gym and yoga and Pilates and so on. Some of the camps are really state of the art. They cater for performing arts. So there's dance, there's drama, there is circus, magic, all sorts of weird and wonderful, creative, artsy things. You can have golf, soccer, football, baseball, basketball, tennis, any kind of team sports, or like tennis, one-on-one, kind of smaller team sports, but anything to do with your various sports. You have photography at camp. You have horse riding. Some of the camps have little petting zoos. I want to say loosely petting zoos, but they may have animal care. So if you've grown up on a farm and you know about wild animals and domesticated animals, there are different little camps that have, oh, people want to call it a petting zoo, but I have been one where there was a camel, there was a llama, there was a the normal, obviously, farm animals and things, chickens and cows and things like that. So if that's your thing, fantastic. If you're a water nut, canoeing, kayaking, fishing, if you just want to be a lifeguard, if you're an excellent swimmer, you can do that alongside the pool or alongside the lakeside. And then obviously there's also singing and dancing, loads of singing and dancing, lots of productions, so little plays that get put on. You and your campers will have to put on like little plays and act and dance and sing and keep them entertained. We also have creative stuff, so ceramics, painting, pottery. We have woodworking. So if you are good with metalwork, woodworking, like workshop skills, even that goes along. If you've done gardening, plant care, animal care, anything really, there is such a long list. Rocketry, science camps, the list, literally, I could sit here all night telling you all sorts of skills. So what kind of skills can you offer is going to be determined where and what kind of a camp you are going to go to. Now, understand that they are very common skills. Every boy in South Africa just about plays rugby or soccer. Think out of the box, okay? Rugby is not a massive American sport, but it's nice to teach. But think of something else you could offer. If it's soccer, fantastic, but let's think a little bit more than soccer. Swimming, very loose, but if you've got excellent swimming skills, it'll always go far. But even if you're good at card games, chess, board games, you know, there are rainy days at camp where you can do arts and crafts, jewelry making, and things like that. But when you create your application, you're going to list your skills and you're going to tell us why you are excellent at that particular skill. So definitely make sure that you are displaying your best. When you make your camp video, showcase those skills. Obviously, making a camp video is pretty cool. You get to tell the camp director who you are, what you have to offer. So that's like a big selling point. So start thinking, if you're doing the program, what can I do my video about? How can I showcase my best skills in the camp video? And then even things like martial arts, karate, you know, all those sort of, I don't know how to call them, martial artsy type of sports, your jiu-jitsus, your karates, a whole lot of them, your gymnastics, those are also fantastic as well to have. Horse riding, equestrian, wonderful archery, yeah. So lots and lots of things to think about, which you could then essentially put on your application. Then we talk about the roles. We've touched on this a little bit. Now, why it's important for the different roles at camp is because if you put a skill set on your profile, which is not, you know, very extensive or very detailed, or just maybe you haven't like really taken your niche into something in life as yet. You know, you're not an avid kayaker, or you haven't been a horse rider since you were 5 years old. Generally, someone like yourself would be more a general camp counselor. So a general counselor will bounce around from activity to activity. So you'll take the kids to horse riding in the morning and you'll horse ride with them. Then you'll go zip lining. Then from there, you'll go and do a bit of kayaking, maybe some swimming. Maybe you just bounce around with all the kids if there's not such a like a set schedule. But your role will be general and taking the kids to and from and helping with all the kids in general. You will also, as I mentioned earlier, sleep in the bunks, cabins with the kids. So being responsible for them, being an older brother, an older sister, a mom, a dad. You know, these kids have come away from home at the age of 8. They're going to miss mom after 7 weeks. So you become their little, you know, tag along, that if they need you, if they unhappy and sad about being away from home, you are that person. You bring them together as a team. So each bunk sometimes decorates their bunk with themes. You can do your little groups and teams of your bunkers and your cabin mates and that kind of thing. So that's the life of a general camp counselor. Then a specialist counselor is one that's really good at a particular skill and has a passion for, I always go with horse riding. It's the easiest to explain. Let's say you've been coached it. Maybe you have coached horse riding. You've been riding horses since you were 5 years old. You know everything about horses. And now you come to camp and you are put in charge of the horse riding or equestrian section at camp. So your role will be to, when the kids arrive, saddle them up, go on rides, let them ride around the paddock. You will have to groom and look after the horses, all the equipment to do with the horse riding. That will be your responsibility. So you will see a bunch of kids throughout the day, but you will stay running the horse riding area for almost the whole summer. Sometimes camp specialist counselors can have like 2 roles. So let's say it's raining and you can't horse ride, you might fit into a general role. Or you might do archery and zip lining. So you do a bit of archery and you do a bit of zip lining and you cross over with another mate that shares those skills with you. Depends on how many staff they have at the camp. But specialist counselors are very sought after. Especially the boys, and all the skills that I've offered for the girls and boys, if they can do them both. And guys, I promise you, camp has already been going on for like 2 months now. Camp has probably about 2 to 4 weeks left, and it's finished for this year. And those camp directors are already going to start hiring now at the end of July, August for May 2027. So if you want to get those cream of the crop positions, if you want to get the best camps, the best positions, make your application early. We've already got people signed up and doing their application. So Camp 2027 is open and the positions fill up really quickly. You're not competing against just South Africans. You're competing against people from around the world, New Zealand, Australia, the UK. The UK sends thousands of campers to camp every year. South America, Eastern Europe, bigger continents of Europe. People want to come from around the world to camp. So don't think that, you know, you can just apply later and there'll be positions available. Camps hire really early between July and December. And then come December, you might start finding there's a couple positions here and a couple positions there. So always think about that and apply for early. So what is included for you as a camp counselor, a camp specialist counselor, basically a participant in the camp program, is that we need to ensure that, number one, all of your camps are screened, that you're going to a safe environment, that you are going to a place where you're going to have, a happy home away from home, and that it's safe. So you won't be the only counselor there. You won't be the only foreign counselor there. There will be tens of other people, hundreds of other people. So camps are really all about the fun and the action, but it's also making sure that you're going to be safe. Now, some mom and dad in America are sending their 6-year-old, their 7-year-old, their 15-year-old to camp. So 100% camps are safe. Just because you are over the age of 18 when you travel, doesn't mean that we don't care. It means specifically that camp is safe for everybody. The kids that come there without their parents, and you that travels all the way from across the world to camp without your parents. So everybody is in a safe environment, and you have 24/7 support from our partners. So our camp partners are based in the US, They are a phone call away, they're an email away, a WhatsApp away. There's many means of communication. Some of the camps are actually visited by our partners annually. They sort of go out and about and visit a lot of camps, and they go and visit you guys as participants. They are there to provide you with visa assistance. On our side, we assist. On our partner side, they provide with the paperwork. Medical insurance, accidents can happen at camp. You know, you zip lining, you are swimming, you know, you could fall off the horse, you could, I don't know, break your arm climbing on the rock wall. There are various things that can happen at camp. And honestly, having that medical insurance is crucial. We provide it to you for the duration of your program. And most importantly, a place to live and lots of nice food throughout the whole summer. So you essentially are moving into just a new home. You just have a camp director and lots of other senior staff that are going to look after you. And then you have a lot of junior, i.e. the campers that come. So it's a massive support system. A nicer home away from home. And if anything goes wrong, you've got that number to call, or that WhatsApp to reach out to. And also you have us based in South Africa, or to answer your calls or to stand in for any issues. So accommodation at camp can be very rustic. It can be quite zhuzhy. You'll see that when you go to camp, like you'll take a South African flag or a Namibian flag, or something from home to decorate your bunks. As I mentioned, some of them are cabins. You'll find them like in the woods. So like when you're walking through camp, it's quite woody. It's like walking through a forest, and your little bunk cabins are dotted throughout the forest. Or you could have a very more upmarket or like a less foresty one, where you've got a beautiful lawn and the accommodation is rounded and the lake is at the bottom. I've seen so many different styles of accommodation. But as I say, you live in the bunks with the kids. So some of them that I've seen have the bathrooms attached to the back of the cabin, so that each cabin, whether there's 10 of you shares the bathroom. Otherwise, other ones, it's like camping, where you have like an ablution block and you grab all your goodies, and at nighttime you take your little troop across to the ablutions, and then you do your thing and then you traipse back. So these are your little homes that you live in. And obviously it can get quite messy, but I remember going to an all-boys camp where each kid decorated his bed in his favorite baseball team or basketball team. So there was Mets and Jets and these and those and everybody, and it was really fun because it was all branded. Obviously the girls go all girly, but the rules and regs of keeping your bunks clean and tidy, laundry, that is your role as part of it, the role at camp of looking after and sharing the dorms and looking after the kids. Applications and processing starts from now. Applications are open and it goes through to Jan. Remember, best times to hire would be from now through to December. So anytime in this year, just don't leave your application for next year if you want to get placed. Jan to March is very slow. We still do place people. So if you do leave it to the last minute, it just means a little bit harder to place, but we won't close officially. But we generally close hiring at the end of Jan or the end of Feb. So you apply, you do your really cool video, your online application, and then you submit that to us. And then our teams will do interviews with you. The interviews are really just to discuss your skills, what you're good at, what you're not good at, what you expect of camp, what you don't, situational questions, medical background, and just having a nice conversation with you about everything. You do your interview at the camp and with us, and then your profile goes live to the camps, and then you have your interviews with the camps. Generally, you won't speak to like 10 different camps. You'll probably speak to like maybe 1 or 2 or 3 camps. But a lot of people, that very first camp that inquires with them about an interview and has a conversation with you, often is the camp that you go to, because they've looked at your skills. There's such a good fit between what you have to offer and what the camp wants and that sort of thing. And we encourage you not only to just have the interview and say, okay, cool, well, that's it, I'm going for it. Go and look at their social media, go look at their websites, go onto all the different platforms, do your research on the camps after having that interview. Or if you have an interview on Wednesday, then have a look tonight and go through their stuff, their YouTube, their TikToks, their accounts, and prepare yourself with questions so that you definitely know when you have that interview what kind of questions to ask about, what questions they might ask of you. It's about making a good impression, but just generally getting that personality across. And once that all comes together and you're happy and the camp director's happy, you will get a hire. And they will say, right, our camp starts on the 15th of May and it finishes on the 15th of July. Would you like to come and join us? And if you are happy, you sign off your contract and we can then move back onto your next steps, which is your visa, and then your flights, and then obviously doing your preparation for your departure. Now, remember that camp is a job. So you've got all these wonderful inclusions. You've got free housing, you've got meals, you've got 24/7 support, you've got visa paperwork, you've got all of this stuff which is included at no cost in terms of living expenses for yourself at camp. So basically, mom's going to go and plonk you in America and not have to worry about covering any bills, and you don't have to worry about covering any bills. If you want to step out of camp for a day and take a day off, that is going to be at your expense. If you want to go to the local town nearby and go for an ice cream or a movie or go shopping or just go into reality, get out of the camp life and go to civilization for a bit, those off days, which don't get me wrong, there's not that many of them, but when they do come around, go and enjoy them. But know that those are the days that you would only have to worry about covering your expenses. The other days at camp, you have no living expenses. Now, we work with two different partners for our programs. One offers a subsidized flight, bringing down your application costs to as little as about 30,000, but we'll go through your cost now. And the other one, the big expense is your air ticket to America, is where you pay your full flight and then you get a higher stipend. So our pay rates for this coming season will range from anywhere from 1,300 to 2,300 USD after camp. So it's a once-off payment and you get that paid right at the end of your camp. Oh, excuse me. So how it works is you sign up and you pay your application fee. Your application fee covers all the administration, the paperwork, the interviews, and getting your profile live and online with our camp directors. Program fees will vary. Some partners don't charge a program fee, and then our other partners charge a small program fee. Again, that goes with the flight subsidy option. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritties of it too much tonight, but I will have the team send out the brochures to you tomorrow. Please make sure in the chat box you remember to pop in your your name so that we can contact you tomorrow to make sure we get that brochure to you. So program fees vary. The visa is standard. You pay to the embassy. Always your medical insurance is included for free, no cost. And then obviously flights will vary. So flights to America, I'd say it's probably about 15 to 25,000 realistically of what the kids are paying this past season. So if you've got the finances to pay for the full flights, then you could go with the company where you earn the higher earnings. If you need help up front and you want to pay the lesser of the flight costs, you can go with a partner that charges less upfront, but also you get a little bit of a lower stipend at the end. So if you need help with funding, you can budget inclusive of your spending money that you fly with and you take to camp. Now, remember, you don't give anybody your spending money of $500. You put that in your pocket when you fly to America. And on those off days, that's what you use. So all of the costs, starting with our flight subsidized package, will be around $30,000. And then our non-flight subsidized package will be higher on your 40,000. So on average, that is what you're paying for your summer camp experience, roughly 30 to 40,000. Now, it sounds like a lot of money, but it's a 3 to 4 month experience in America. It includes all your meals and accommodation. Just to go to America for a week nowadays will cost you way more than 40,000 Rand for a visa, accommodation, meals, entertainment, everything. So honestly, guys, it's a real bargain. And that money that you earn back at the end of camp equates to, when you're taking that higher earning, equates to exactly the same money, if not more, than what you paid to go. So if you want to go and you don't really want to explore and travel that 30 days and you want to come back, you can go to camp, you can make all your money back, and you can come back and you can have a free 3 to 4 month working holiday in America. If you want to go travel in your 30 days and you want to spend a bit of that cash, then maybe you won't come back with as much, but you can certainly still bring some money back home. But honestly, a 30,000 Rand gap year option of going to camp, having the best summer ever, it is worth every penny. You will come back and thank me, and you'll say, now I know exactly what you were talking about. So remember that each of these individual costs is not paid. You don't give OVC a check for 30,000. You only pay each cost as and when it comes. So application fees and program fees, probably visa, if we're lucky, but otherwise application and program fees are paid between January and December. So that's the next, July and December. So that's the next 6 months that you have to only cover the application and program fee. Generally speaking, the visas, we try to start booking from December. So the visa money would be paid in December, maybe Jan. The flights will only come next year, March, April, even as late as May. So that big one, the flights, March, April, May, that's another 9 months away. You've got plenty time to save up the money and put it aside. And obviously the day you fly, which could be anywhere from the 1st of May to the 30th of June, is when you take your spending money with you. So that $500 spending money is also only needed next year. So between Jan and December, your budget for finances would probably range anywhere from 5,500 to 13,000. Next year, March through May, the flights and the spending money. So lots of time to break up those costs and make it affordable. But don't leave it till next year to apply. Start your process now. Go check out our socials. We have a wonderful array of stories on it. Chanel, maybe if you can drop our Camp Life Insta page. We have an Instagram page dedicated to Camp Life, which is basically everything and all things Camp Life, which is super cool. I'll see if I can actually get it now for you guys. It's a great platform to follow, and it'll have videos on camp. It's got what's going on at camp now. I've just popped it in the chat box, so if you want to click on that and follow. Everything to do with camp, everything to do with like what to expect, how to pack, when to go, what to do, along with all of our different Facebook and Instagram and TikTok stories that we share. And camp is something that you have to watch. It's exciting to watch. It's exciting to see it. It's not something you can really look at in pictures. It's really about watching those videos and getting excited and getting a good idea. But it honestly is going to be the best summer of your life. So contact your officers, reach out to them, let them know you want to make an application, and honestly, head over to the States and have the best summer of your life. So over to you guys for some questions. That's all I have to share with you this evening. I hope you've enjoyed and learned a lot about the program. So over to you guys for questions. If you want to pop it in the chat box, or if you are all done and you've left us your details and you want to head out, you can do so. But if you want to hang around and ask 1 or 2 more questions, you are welcome to unmute and ask, raise your hand, and I'll be happy to help if I can. Hey, any questions in our chat box tonight? Let me grab everything open. Thank you very much to all of those who've dropped their details in here. I'm sure Chanel's been keeping busy with all of that. Sylvia, yes, hello. How can we help you tonight? What questions do you have for us?
Hi, my name is Sylvia. I'm a mother.
Yep.
I'm from Namibia.
Mm-hmm. Yes, what's your question?
My question is, how will they get paid in the US? Are they going to get paid in cash? Are they going to have bank accounts, or which bank accounts are they going to use?
So they will go and do a social security run. So generally, once they've arrived at camp, the camps take them through to go and do their social security run. And then they can open the US bank account once they've got that. And then the camp can pay them into that. If the camp chooses to pay them cash, they can do that. Most camps pay at the end of camp. Some camps pay every 2 weeks. Each camp is different. But they would either have a US bank account or they would have like a cash check that they go cash. But that is between the camp counselor and that. I don't really ask my camp counselors how they get paid. But I know there are the ones that have their bank accounts in the US, those that may get cash or a check. It all just depends on the camp itself. All right.
One more question.
No problem.
What type of visa are they getting, and for how long is it?
A J1 visa. A J1 visa for the duration of their camp. The camp first visa start date is the day your visa is approved, but you can only travel a day or two before your camp starts so that you can arrive and settle. And once your camp has ended, your J1 visa expires on the last work day of the camp. So the day camp closes, your visa expires. You then have 30 days in which to travel. And after that, you need to get out of the US. You're not allowed to extend, stay over, stay longer, or anything like that. Your visa is only valid for the duration of your program. And then you come out of the US. And then if you choose to do another program, if you choose that you maybe want to go back to the summer camp in 2028, some people do multiple years at camp. So that is a possibility as well. And then I have a question here in the chat box. You're welcome, Sylvia. The question in the chat box is, how do we apply? So the best thing and way to answer that question is to go back to your OVC office and to please ask them, like, what is the next step? So if you're on our camp group, or if you want to message the consultants directly, you can say on the group that you're ready to start and your relevant consultant will get hold of you. If you are, you want to just go back to Kylie or Chanel or Abby or Elms or myself and just say, I'm ready to start the process. What do I need to do? They will then say, okay, step 1, and then they'll lead you through the journey. So applying, you've got to have the requirements and have the finances in order, and the team will take you through the different steps. Okay. All right. Any other questions that come to mind? Otherwise, if not, we will call it and say a very big thank you to everybody who's joined us tonight. This session did go straight onto YouTube, so we can share the link if you did miss it. And then tomorrow we'll be having another session. If you were late, our session tomorrow is at 2 p.m. So if you want to join us online at 2 p.m. And then again on Thursday, we have another one at 2 p.m. So we will be having these weekly. So if you need more time with parents, with yourself to come online and have a chat with us, check out the groups, make sure that you are on that and obviously keeping up to date with everything. So the last 2 questions, the application will be approved. You don't pay unless you qualify. We screen you. The reason why you pay is because you qualify. So if you don't qualify, you don't even get the chance to start the application process. If I have a conversation with you over the phone, I will tell you yes or no, we can or can't help you. And if we can help you, then you will go ahead. And if we can't help you, we will just end the call at that stage. For the purpose of the person who asked the questions on the fees, I'm not going to repeat this. It is on the screen. It is in our video. And then again, the question here about not getting accepted is irrelevant. And you don't pay any fees unless you qualify. The application fee is always non-refundable. Once you commit to starting the journey with OVC, it means you qualify, it means you are committed, and it means you want to go to camp. And for that reason, if you tick those 3 boxes, we will invoice you the application fee. If you don't want to go, if you don't qualify, we will not invoice you, we will not help you. So you don't take the journey, you don't pay any fees if we don't think that you will get placed as a camp counselor. All right, so again, I'll share the link for those that missed it. Thank you everybody for joining tonight. I've really appreciated you guys in the audience. And any other questions, shoot back to the office. Thank you very much and have a lovely evening. Bye.